Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast show, and it's time on this Monday morning for your Tech Digest. And today we're unpacking some really important news. Now, ICASA has announced new regulations to govern the rules on mobile data expiry and out-of-mobile billing. Our tech expert Bryan Smith joins us to unpack all of these proposals and more. Thanks so much for joining us, dude. Always a pleasure to have you
Thanks
here.
for having me. It's great to be back.
All right, let's talk about ICASA first. Exactly what is ICASA and what led to the proposal of these new regulations?
Great. So ICASA is the Independent Communications Authority of South Africa, and they govern not just mobile data regulations, but pretty much the entire data spectrum from radio to everything else in South Africa, everything to do with communications. These proposals came on the back of the Data Must Fall movement last year, which saw hundreds and thousands of South Africans take to social media platforms such as Twitter to vent their understandable frustration as to the price and longevity of their data bundles and what exactly South African government and regulators could do to make that more worthwhile for the average consumer.
Yeah, so how exactly is ICASA then proposing to the networks and how they should then inform the users about the depletion of their data, for instance?
A big part of this obviously is if you're a consumer, it can be very difficult to track how much of your mobile data you've used per month unless you're using a proprietary app or some other means of tracking. And what ICASA has proposed is that networks will now by law have to inform their consumers once they've reached 50% and 80% of their data cap. And then subsequently 100%, so once they've depleted their cap in itself. Which will be a really great move to keep consumers abreast of their data bundles per se.
Yeah, one would have thought that that would have been a standard procedural operation of the networks, but it is now. So how do you think this is going to impact our use of data, first of all, and will we be getting a bit more bang for our buck?
That's a great question. Principally, one of the major regulations that's going to come into play is that mobile data, if you have an unused portion of your cap, let's say 50%, that will now have to roll over to the next coming month. So that'll be really great for consumers.
Very, very good news.
Definitely. It's up to each mobile network, obviously, to roll this feature out, and there may be some different T's and C's that may apply therein. But definitely, in terms of bang for your buck, perhaps that's not the right use case here. I think definitely what does apply here is definitely getting what you pay for.
Yes.
And that's the great thing to come to consumers.
And in your expert and honest opinion, do you feel that these changes will really have an impact? I mean, if we look at the future, the fact that this whole thing possibly was brought on by hashtag Data Must Fall. Now, we as the public feel like we have a voice. We can say stuff and it can be taken seriously. What future do you see for this industry?
I definitely think this is a very good first step in the right direction. One of the more requested features from consumers that hasn't been implemented is the fact that mobile data should have an expiry period, so it should last for a year or more if you don't use it with all in that period. That hasn't been implemented, so that might leave some frustration. However, I think this is a very first good building block. It's now up to the National Consumer Commission to implement these regulations by the 30th of May. And hopefully this will ease some of the pressure points for consumers when purchasing mobile data.
Yeah, my personal feeling, mobile data is not milk. So once you've bought it, it should never expire until you've used it.
I hope that's the next step.
Katlego, president of ICASA. No, I'm joking, I couldn't handle that kind of thing. Listen, thank you very much, always appreciated. Let us know which stories have caught your attention from the world of tech, and of course to keep up to date with all the exciting news from the world of technology, visit our website, expressoshow.com.